I want happy music. And this was like, I cut my life into pieces.
How dare
This
you?
is my last resort. Suffocation.
Get no breathing. Don't give a fuck if I cut
my
myself
arm
sleeping.
bleeding.
That's not what it was. I don't know what the words are.
Wow, we're going to get copyright because that was so good.
And welcome back to Give It To Me Straight.
I'm Alex.
And I am John. And we're your gracious host.
Woo woo.
More passion, more energy. More passion, more energy.
I don't think that that's
Energy,
how
energy,
the song
energy.
goes.
I don't know.
I feel like it's a different cadence. Like
More passion, more energy, more passion. It's a TikTok sound, if you don't know. I'm hip.
I'm just looking at you, and I know that you asked me earlier if your outfit matched, but now that I'm looking at it, I don't think that it does.
Blue and blue.
I know, but there's none of the light blue in your shirt.
Right here. That's light blue right there. That's light blue right there.
That's white. It doesn't match.
That's not white. That's teal.
I mean, I guess it could match. It's like just a different hue.
I wanted to wear bright colors, so I just feel.
You
like
know
a
what would
bright
look good
person.
with this would be like
Khaki
orange shorts or like that pinkish red.
For guys, I just feel like white, black, and I feel like brown's a good color too, though. Like a brown khaki. Like a dark brown.
Neutrals.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, everyone looks good at neutrals.
It's just easier to match those colors.
Right.
Besides that, I need help.
Do you think you're colorblind?
You are colorblind, if anyone. I pointed to the teal, and you're like, "That's white."
No. The white around the leaf.
No, I don't. I mean, I wouldn't know. How would I know if I'm colorblind?
I think like most, more men are colorblind. I don't know. I guess you would know.
All right,
I guess,
fun fact, Alex.
Well, you found out that you were dyslexic at some point. I guess
didn't
you would
find out it was.
Yeah, you did.
I mean, I didn't know.
Well, someone informed you. They were like, "That's not how you write your name."
Did I talk about that on here?
I don't know. Probably.
If anyone wants to know how we found out I was dyslexic, was one day I came home from school and I was like, Dad, because he told me the story. I was like, look, I wrote my name, and I showed in the paper, and my name's Jonathan, and literally every letter was like the J was turned the other way. It was like a mirrored image. It was crazy. And he's like, oh yeah, we got a problem.
We got a problem.
So I got into special classes for that.
And here
And
we
look at
are
me now.
today. So proud of you.
If I can be successful, so can you.
So how was your week? What'd you do?
It's good. We
still have a mouse.
We still have a mouse. I like how you asked me, and then
I know.
yeah, do you want to answer
Someone's
for me?
gonna say that. They're gonna be like, "Let him talk, Alex."
I get it. You're annoying.
Okay. Do you know how many times that you interrupt me? It's really like 50-50.
Never. I never interrupt you. I have nothing to interrupt you with. Anyways, my week was good. We did a little boys' weekend. Not really, one day.
Yeah.
That was plenty for me. My social meter. I was good for like 5 hours, and then I was like, okay, time to go home.
Back home.
I can't hang anymore.
Well, you have an actual boys' weekend coming up.
In October, yeah.
Right. So like this was just like a day
In
like a day.
Houston. I've never been.
But yeah, we still do have a mouse. Since I know that you're not going to ask me how my weekend was.
I'm not done yet. I had the boys' weekend, and we had dinner with some friends. I feel like I was very social this week.
That's good.
And then, I know we had a mouse, and we still have the mouse. I'm the one talking to the exterminator. You're not. Obviously, he came today for 5 minutes and did nothing about it. He's like, oh, the mouse didn't eat the poison. Oh, the mouse didn't go in the trap. We even bought traps. He didn't go in those traps. So now he's got to come back in a week because he's got to go buy special traps for the mouse. So we're going to live with him for another couple days.
Do you think he's like too big to fit in the traps? Like maybe we need rat traps. He was big when I saw him.
I'm going to put a rat trap between your legs. No, he could tell by the poop. He's like, yeah, that's mouse poop.
Shut up.
I mean, he knew it was mouse poop. He didn't
Also,
put it in his
you're
mouth.
like, oh, I'm speaking to the exterminator. It's because you wanted me in the room with Kobe. I was getting ready. It's not like you're doing this like valiant, gesture.
You weren't there the first time he came.
Yeah, I was. He was spraying around. I was working. He was spraying around. You left. I was downstairs while he was spraying the whole house.
I don't know about that.
Mm-hmm.
You were there. Okay, you were there.
Yeah, I was
But you didn't
there.
talk to him.
Because what am I going to say? There's
He's
a mouse.
a cool guy. I feel like I could be his friend.
Like,
He's
don't hurt him. Let him out safely.
Cooler, older guy. You know how sometimes you're around people who feel the vibe? I'm like, is this somebody I can cuss in front of? And then when you do the little, like, you could cuss and then you vibe. There's like a vibing moment where you're like, okay, we're cool.
We're cool.
We're cool guys.
And you feel like that with the exterminator.
I was like, I was like, yeah, that little bastard. I couldn't get him. He's like, yeah, that little bastard. And then we were like,
breaks down this wall, like this comfortability wall. Yeah.
I had a similar relationship with the Hornet guy like a couple of years ago at my parents' house. I was like, there's some cool cats out there.
Cool exterminators out there just killing things.
Okay, how was your week?
I
Is that how bad I need friends?
Yeah. You're like, you know who I could hang out with?
I'm just gonna have a whole clan of like exterminators.
I'm proud of you though. That's how you do meet friends. Like it's about like connecting, you know? I feel like that's again where people might feel or not, they might hate us, but more connected to us from our podcast. Like once they hear us like cuss. Or I also say curse. Where did cuss come from? Like why do people say the word cuss? I think that's a Southern thing.
You're gonna ask me?
Yeah.
What did I say in the car the other day? And you were like, "That's not a phrase."
John, you just have the most bizarre phrases.
What did I say? Dip your beak in it.
Yeah, because like
that's a term.
no, John. If you're like trying something new, you dip your toe into something.
You dip
like
your beak in it too.
No.
Yes. Yeah. I can't wait for people. Same as bird dog or quail. People actually said that's a phrase in the South.
It's like.
Well,
Kill
bird
two
dog-
birds with one stone. Like I don't know what.
I'm not gonna bird dog and like
I'm
I'm
gonna look
stealing
it up right
like I'm
now.
stealing
Dip
something
your
from
beak
you.
in it, saying dip.
Your beak in it. Bet you I'm right.
No, it's not. This isn't. It has something to do with like getting an actual drink. So like you're just.
Maybe
not
an Urban Dictionary.
Urban Dictionary. That's what it says.
That's what you're using?
To drink an alcoholic beverage.
Dip your beak in it. I think there's more than one term.
No,
phrase.
It's not
there's
how
more
it's
one of
dip
like
your toe.
definition.
No, you just come up with you make up your own analogies or whatever.
They sound right though, and I say it like so confidently.
That's what it is. Yeah, you just but like you would say something like
I exude
confidence.
confidence.
That's like why the lions are in the sky, and I'm like, what? Like, yeah, Alex, the crows eat the poop. Like that's like you just make shit up.
I honestly still think it's a term, but whatever.
You belong in the South because I feel like they just come up with
whatever. Anyways, what
terms
else? What else is
also.
going on?
I watched Pride and Prejudice for the first time ever.
We're gonna go past that.
Why not?
We're gonna go right past that
Why?
because I don't even want to talk about it. It just sounds like something I don't want to talk about.
Well, I just feel like I've seen a ton of. There's a lot of movies out there that are like well known that I just haven't watched. Like,
When was that movie made?
The early 2000s, I think. But there were so many people in it. Did you know that Beth from Yellowstone is in it? And she's actually English.
She's a badass. I did not know she was actually English.
Yeah.
Talent.
All these people in that show. Also, someone from, what's that other show? Succession.
Yeah.
Everyone is not from the States. And I'm like, they have the best accents. Do you think that you could be like in an English movie with an English accent? Let me hear it.
Hello, Governor.
Nope. You're cut.
Tea and crumpets.
You're cut.
What do you mean cut? You do it.
You're cut.
You say something.
What do you want me to say? Give me a sentence. I'm nervous.
Today I went into the ballroom and I had some tea.
Today I went into the ballroom and I had some tea. How was that, John?
That was actually really good. Today I went into the ballroom and had tea. Cronky.
That's Australian.
All right. Anything else?
Like
we're all over the place.
Yeah.
Anything
I
else
had no other updates other than
one more month till we get in our house.
My parents are coming to visit. That'll be fun. But otherwise, just excited to get into our house. Now I feel like we're starting to see updates, you know,
Right.
like the walls are up.
I'm getting
like they're
excited.
starting tiling. And that's like now we get to see all the fun stuff. I'm excited.
I'm pumped.
Yeah.
Can't wait to get into our own home. But before you get into the questions, guys, we love the reviews. Give us the reviews, all 5 stars. I need them. I want them. I want to read them. I actually read them all.
And this week's episode is sponsored by Daily Harvest. Hungry but can't decide what to eat? Daily Harvest has got your back. They keep my stomach and my freezer full with a smorgasbord of options. We're talking fruit and veggie-packed smoothies, comforting soups, hearty harvest bowls, and even flatbreads for those snack attacks. They've got options for every time of day, like forager bowls and bites that'll make your taste buds dance. Say goodbye to the meal planning headache. Daily Harvest has so many easy to prep options that you won't even have to think about what to cook next. No more shopping, chopping, or post-cooking cleanup. Just delicious, ready-to-go meals whenever you need them. Keep yourself and your freezer full with these hassle-free delights from Daily Harvest. Head to dailyharvest.com/straight to scoop up $65 off your first box. That's dailyharvest.com/straight. Score big on savings and big on flavor today.
And this week's podcast is also sponsored by Babbel. Want to know the secret to speaking a new language this fall? It's as easy as pie with Babbel. Babbel's got conversation-based learning that's backed by science. That's right, science. Spaced repetition and interactive lessons created by real language teachers and voiced by real native speakers. It's like having a language wizard in your pocket. Babbel's helping millions of people confidently chat away in new languages. So if you're tired of sounding like a mime in a foreign country, this is your solution. For our awesome listeners, we've got an exclusive deal. Get a jaw-dropping 55% off your Babbel subscription, but only at babbel.com/straight. Yep, that's BABBEL.com/straight. Grab that 55% discount at babbel.com/straight and start speaking like a pro today. Rules and restrictions may apply.
Shall we jump into questions?
Yes, we shall.
Okay. Just making sure that you're paying attention. My boyfriend and I are both very social people who love to host get-togethers with our friends at each of our homes. If friends ask, what should I bring? We typically tell them nothing is required, but anything they would specifically like to drink and or side dish or dessert is always welcome and appreciated. Recently, another couple that we are friends with has started hosting some parties of their own. We would be totally on board with this, except that our friends are charging admission to get into their parties. Earlier in the summer, they hosted a crab boil and charged $40 per person and asked friends to bring drinks on top of that. Now they are planning a hot wing competition and are planning to charge admission again. Are we the assholes for thinking that charging admission to your party is outrageous?
Oh my God. Are we in college? Are we paying like $5 for a red cup or something?
Okay, the only thing that I could see where you would maybe charge per plate is if you guys had like a personal chef come in and it was a whole experience and it was like expensive where they cover drinks, food, appetizers, dessert. But to expect people to bring things and then help pay for things, like when you're hosting, that is your responsibility of hosting.
That's us. I feel like everyone's different. And I wonder if like North is different than the South, East is different than the West, how it works, because I've seen both.
Like culturally, you think it's just different.
Exactly. I don't know. I know personally, like when we host, I don't fucking ask anyone to bring anything. I don't charge anyone. Like we're the ones hosting because we want to host something.
Right.
Then you put people in a weird position. Like from me, I think that's embarrassing. Like I wouldn't want to fucking do that.
I guess.
Come to my party, but also make sure you bring a dish, and I also need $50. Like, fuck you. I'll just go to dinner.
I mean, I think too, like, there's an etiquette around hosting. Like, you provide the main meal. Like, and then if people want to bring side dishes,
sure,
I think you almost expect them to, but like you would hope that they do. Or
I'm telling you right now, I don't expect anyone to bring anything because no one has any fucking etiquette anymore. The amount of times we've had parties or invite people over and they don't bring anything, it's
but
like,
it's fine.
I don't expect it, but it's just like, oh my God, common fucking courtesy.
Well, like at least bring a fucking beverage.
Or bring it and fucking leave it. I don't even want it. I don't even care. You could bring soda. I won't drink it. But don't bring it and then take it back home with you.
I think that used to be more of a thing. I don't think that's a thing really anymore. Also, coming from the person, I'm just thinking, but that's also because Niels packed it up to make it so that because she didn't want it. We brought over so many snacks to their house yesterday. And then she packed up the back of our snacks. It was like, take these back. We don't want them. But we left all the dessert because I was like, I don't want this dessert. I just think that like it depends. I do think that
every scenario is different, but I just think the main part is if you're going to host something, do it because you want to do it.
Right.
I just think at a point like you're asking too much or you're you're just like putting people in a position, like don't even host
Or
them.
like if it's a group dynamic and everyone's like, we should get lobsters or do this expensive thing. And everyone's like, oh, cool. Well, what could we bring? How could we contribute? But like, I think to bring it on yourself and be like, we're going to host a crab broil. Everyone has to pay $40 to come.
Right. Okay. At that point, I'd be like, if you're going to do that,
I'd be like,
let's just rent out a banquet hall or do something and we'll all just pitch in to have this kind of experience instead of all of us doing this just to come to your fucking house so you can host it. That's so annoying. That's annoying. I wouldn't come. Fuck.
I wouldn't come. I don't think that you're the asshole, but I just think that there's different etiquette. Everyone has like different standards and
that person's asking too much.
Yeah.
Next question. Man, that annoys me.
My husband and I married in and attend a Christian church in the city where we live. My parents, who are hardcore Catholics, are wanting us to baptize our baby girl in their Catholic church. They are dropping hints that only their baptized grandkids will get help with college, etc. I honestly don't care and would be down to dunk my kid in the water to go through the motions. My husband, on the other hand, is a hardcore Christian from a long lineage of Christian pastors, and he might not be down. But I feel like since my parents live in another city, it's not like the obligation would extend past the baptism day. Am I naive to think this is not a slippery slope and will not cause problems in my marriage and in my relationship with my parents?
I mean, you do what you got to do. They're going to pay.
What does that mean?
They're going to pay for the kids' tuition. I will lube myself up, whatever I have to do to get that money.
I think you have to have a conversation with your husband about it. But also, like, I mean,
listen, religion is important and everyone's feelings on that's different.
I say double dip that baby, baptize them as a Catholic. They could decide to get baptized as a Christian. I was technically double dipped and now I don't even go to church. So like, here we are.
We came from Roman Catholic upbringings.
And then I became a Christian, got baptized as a Christian, and look at me now. I'm a fucking
horrible
heathen.
person.
No. Okay, listen. I think that you have to have a conversation with your husband because this is your baby.
We should probably say now we're going to give real advice.
Now we'll give real advice.
I don't want anyone freaking out on us. We're just joking around.
Okay. I think that you and your husband have to come to terms with what you're comfortable with. I don't think that you should baptize your baby just because your parents want to. And I think that they're going to love their grandkid equally the same. What are they going to say? Like,
I think I don't care about anyone's opinion but my partner.
Exactly.
Like your parents to put you in that position, that's pretty fucked up, I think. They should love the kid and assist everyone equally, whoever, if they have other grandchildren or whatever. But I think you talk to your partner first, and if he's cool with it, yeah, I think you guys just suck it up and do it. If he's not cool with it, like I wouldn't, because religion is huge. Like I wouldn't go against him on that.
Right. But I would just see what his take is on it, because I don't think it should ruin a relationship anywhere. Like, again, it's your kid. You guys have to do what feels best for
grandparents. People putting in, I mean, again, it's their money, so whatever. But don't even say it then. Your
kid might not even go to college. Like, they might choose a profession that they don't have. You know what I mean? Like, that's so down the line. And are they really going to think 18 years back and be like, well, wasn't baptized in a Catholic church? Like, are they for real not going to treat that kid equal?
I guess not. I mean, again, religion is really important to people, and
they
believe in certain things.
Such a whole other laundry list of problems.
The main thing, though, I think, is if the grandparents were going to give an ultimatum, they shouldn't even have brought it up then, because I think that's kind of unfair to even suggest that. So
talk to your husband.
Yeah.
See what he thinks. But you know what? Again,
if you're asking us what we would do, that baby would have been baptized 10 times if it could.
Next question. My wife and I have been married for almost 6 years now. We have a 1-year-old and are wanting more kids. I love her and would do anything for her, but I've been hiding that I am bisexual for a few years now. I've been wanting to tell her, but I am scared of how she will react. I don't want anything to change between us, but I feel like the secret has been eating me alive. I never really came to terms with my sexuality until a couple years into our marriage. I'm attracted to both men and women. What should I do?
Just because you're attracted to both doesn't mean you have to act on it. You're saying you love your wife and you do anything for her. You can have the conversation with her, and maybe she's open to the idea to let you explore. Maybe she's not. Like, I don't know. Like, but are you going to want to take that risk? But the main thing it comes down to is like, what does that mean? Like it's eating you alive. Like, are you going to be relieved if you tell her? Or is this more like, are you hoping you tell her and she's like open to you exploring? Because then you're kind of looking at it a way of like, maybe I can hook up with other people. And then that way I'm like, you're still a fucked up person.
Yeah, because I think that you can still be attracted to the same sex, the opposite sex, whatever, but it's about being loyal to your partner. So it's like, what are you looking for? I do feel like you should still be honest with your wife and tell her how you feel. But with that said, like, what are your intentions there? To what you said, is it because you want to explore a relationship with a man or your sexuality with a man? Because that would impact your dynamic now with your wife. Like, that's opening up your relationship. And so I think being honest about how you feel, but I think you also have to ask yourself, what do I want out of this?
Right.
Because if it's to hook up with someone else, that's just, again, another topic of conversation to be had.
Sit on that and think about it, because you can, really ruin a relationship if it's.
But I think that you owe it to yourself and to her to be honest about how you feel. Like, I would want to know, and I feel like you would want to know, but I think, again, it's like, okay, that's great. Like, that I'm heterosexual. Does that mean like just because I'm still attracted to men, want to go
for another man? Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Right. That's what I'm saying. Just take a step back and really think about it first, because that's how you would steer that conversation, because you're going to have to. So.
Right. Yeah. Just figure out, like, where do you want this to end? But honesty is the best policy. Otherwise, you're going to end up resentful, and you're going to, I don't know, years down the road feel like you should have come clean with how you really feel to be your true self.
Yeah. Good luck.
Next question. I'm in the military and I love it. And I also really love my girlfriend. I've fallen in love with the missions and the purpose of the military. The best part of my day is getting to tell her about it and hearing about her day. However, we kind of suck at distance. Some kind of argument always comes up. I'm at the point where I could stay in or get out in a year, and I don't know what to do. I feel like it's her or the military. I'm struggling between what I love and who I love.
That is a personal choice that you're going to have to make. I mean, I can't help you. That's a hard question.
There's movies about this called Dear John.
You're fork at the road. What are you going to do?
I don't remember what happens in the movie with Dear John with Channing Tatum and Amanda Seyfried. Have you ever seen it?
Yeah, someone dies, they write a fucking letter or something.
I don't think anyone dies. Well, her.
Didn't we do a TikTok on this?
Yeah.
And I was like,
Dear John.
Right.
Yeah. I think ultimately, yeah, this is just more of a fuck. I don't know. It's a personal
that you're gonna have to figure out. It's like, we can go down the road of, well, what about her? Like, she knows, like, you have career ambition for the military. Like, she should care about what your desires are as well.
It's tough because it's like a double-edged sword, but at the same time, like, how long have you guys been together? Do you see a future with this person? Because I could see both sides where you at some point want to take priority, but you guys have to work together as a team, to support one another's goals. Because, like, if you gave me an ultimatum between pursuing my career and something that I loved or choosing you, it's a rock and a hard place. I'd be like, right. Dude, why would you, like, this is...
Yeah, but like what he's like okay with, like, he's probably comfortable with the current situation. She is not. So that's the issue. I mean, it's just like personal preference for her too. Like, I understand where she's coming from. I mean, he's away a lot of the time. Like, that's tough. I get that.
I don't think that either of you should have to compromise what you want in a relationship in order to make this work. If you feel like it's not working, like, of course you love each other, but I think, again, we always go back to resent. And I feel like if you end up quitting your career, you could end up resenting her for making you stop doing what you love, and vice versa. If you continue working, she might end up resenting you. So I don't know. I think it's just a matter of...
What do you see more of a future with, her or the mission?
I think you guys just have to, if you can't find compromise, you have to have that tough, like, come to Jesus moment. Next question. Okay, so long story short, my boyfriend's brother, let's call him Ben, punched his ex-girlfriend, let's call her Jenny, in front of my man and I in January. Jenny and I continued to be friends after the incident, and I supported her as much as I could regards to legal action. Ben has taken a heavy toll on my relationship because my boyfriend is going to take his brother's side no matter what, and I feel sort of betrayed. My boyfriend went as far as saying he never saw anything to cover for Ben when questioned by police. He even dismisses my testimony and trauma by turning a blind eye on me. We have conversations about this, but it always turns into a bad argument. I also can't have an opinion about Ben's actions or persona because it really sets my boyfriend off. Ben has talked bad about me to my boyfriend because I testified against him, and my boyfriend doesn't even defend me. Am I the asshole for not letting this go? I'm tired of this.
That is fucking crazy. He punched his girlfriend in the face, and his brother saw it, and he's just like, I didn't see shit.
Yes.
What the fuck is wrong with people? Seriously? Like, morally, he has an obligation to fucking, one, say something and not defend his brother for doing something that's completely wrong. That is wild.
I'm just going to say what we say every single episode. Just break up with your boyfriend. Get out of that family. The fact that your boyfriend is defending his brother for this type of behavior would have me questioning that relationship.
The boyfriend is probably thinking, I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm defending my brother. I'm like, your brother just like did domestic violence against a woman. Like, that's fucking crazy.
Because it's like one of those things too that you could think about and you're like, oh my God, like if I, like who would help me hide a body? Would it be my brother, my best friend, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, okay, what is the purpose of having a body to hide? What is the purpose of punching someone in the fucking face? Like,
I would slap the fuck out of that dude. Anyways.
Well, then you would, well, I guess man to man. Sure. Physical violence is never the answer. Ever.
Sometimes violence calls for more violence, though.
Well, yeah, if you're defending yourself. But again, I think
defending
that
someone else.
You're fighting for what is right. And I don't think that you should let this go because also, like, this is your boyfriend, but this is someone who, if you potentially marry, you would consider family.
You would never let that go. In your head, you would
No.
never let that go. Be like, if he's willing to just like let that go, be like, what else is he willing to let go? Or where else is his fucking shitty moral compass land?
And does your boyfriend also not understand the weight of this? Like why you can't defend his brother? Like why you feel the way that you do, you know? Or is he like, I know he's a piece of shit, like, but he's like, what is his reasoning for defending his brother? Honestly, there's not a good one.
Seems like he's just blocking out completely. Like, nothing happened. I didn't see anything. That's fucking crazy. His
brother needs to face the consequences of his actions. That is the only way that Ben is going to learn, by going to jail. And as a reminder, this episode is sponsored by Daily Harvest. Fall, the season of falling leaves, chaotic schedules, and you know what else falls? My motivation to cook. Seriously, who has time for that when life gets crazy? But don't worry, folks. I've got a tasty solution for you. Daily Harvest. With Daily Harvest, I could kiss those random fridge items goodbye and say hello to delicious, quick, and satisfying meals delivered right to my door. It's like having a personal chef who knows exactly what I crave. They've got a whole smorgasbord of easy-to-prep options that make meal planning a thing of the past. No more struggling to decide what to cook for my next meal. It's all there, ready to roll. They support farmers who are all about improving biodiversity and soil health. Plus, their packaging is recyclable and compostable, making you feel like an eco-hero without even trying. So why not keep your freezer stocked with the hassle-free, guilt-free meals? Go to dailyharvest.com/straight and score up to $65 off your first box. That's dailyharvest.com/straight for a feast of savings. Don't miss out on this deal, folks. Head to dailyharvest.com/straight and make your taste buds and your wallet happy today, because it's soup season.
And just a friendly reminder, this podcast is sponsored by Babbel. Are you tired of those language apps that feel more like playing Candy Crush than actually learning a new language? Well, listen up, because we've got something that's going to make your language journey as easy as pie. This fall, you could start speaking a new language with Babbel. That's right, Babbel, the real deal for language learning. Say goodbye to shelling out hundreds of dollars for a private tutor who just wants to chat about their weekend. And forget those other language apps that have you matching emojis, swiping left and right. With Babbel's quick 10-minute lessons, you'll be speaking a new language faster than you could say bonjour. Babbel's lessons are designed by over 150 language experts. That's right, 150. These folks know their stuff, and they're here to help you start speaking a new language in as little as 3 weeks. With Babbel, you'll be ordering that delicious croissant in Paris like a pro, or haggling for souvenirs in a bustling bazaar in Istanbul in no time. And guess what? We've got a special limited time deal just for our listeners. You get a whopping 55% off your Babbel subscription. That's right, 55%. But here's the catch. You got to go to Babbel.com/straight. That's BABBEL.com/straight. Dive into the world of languages with Babbel and start speaking fluently today. Remember, 55% off at Babbel.com/straight. That's BABBEL.com/straight. Rules and restrictions may apply.
Next question. I'm trying to figure out how to handle a situation between my brother and my best friend. They dated in high school and some of college, but my bestie broke up with him and he met his now wife shortly after. It's been 8 years since my brother and my best friend broke up, but my bestie told me that he's been texting her. She has been mostly ignoring him, but responded one day because she felt like maybe something was wrong. She called me today in distress because he texted her asking if she would meet him in a different city because he is going on a business trip. My friend denied him and blocked him. Up until now, I've been able to give my brother the benefit of the doubt, but now it is clear he has bad intentions. Should I confront my brother? I'm afraid if I say something, it will mess up our family dynamic forever, but I love his wife and I feel like he is making a huge mistake.
Okay. I missed the first part, so he's married. Got it.
Yes, he's
Wow.
married. So,
Wow.
yeah, it's his sister's best friend that he used to date.
You're his blood. I don't know what your relationship is, but to me, it would seem pretty easy to call him out on that.
I was gonna say generally I wouldn't get involved in other people's relationships, but the fact that this is your brother and your best friend, and like obviously you're still besties with her. She came to you with this information before this gets back to his wife. You could step in and say, "What the fuck are you doing?"
So, do you think? So you would like your first step would be just like talking to him.
Yeah.
You're gonna leave it up to him to talk to his wife.
Yeah, I wouldn't like go around.
That's
to
like
his
as far as
wife.
you would take it.
I'd be like, okay, I'm gonna give my sibling, go to them first, and be like, what's going on? Because even if there's trouble in paradise, their marriage isn't going well, then break up with her, like separate. Either way, you have a relationship with his wife, you have a relationship with your brother and his ex-girlfriend. You're in this weird position, but I think like it's a decent position to be in to address this situation. If you're close with your brother, I would 100% say something. Because also,
I feel bad. I want to say like I would tell the wife, but I think that's as far as I would go too, is just talking to my brother about it. I'd be like, now the ball's in your court. You need to fucking
telling the wife this early on, I don't think is your place. I don't know if it's your place regardless. Like you could tell your brother, and if he's going to fuck up his marriage, he's going to fuck up his marriage, you know? I think you can step in, and either way, he's still going to do what he wants to do, because if it's not with your bestie, his ex-girlfriend, it might be with someone else. But again, you can maybe like shake him up and hold a mirror to him and just be like, what's going on?
I could just see like morally, you might thinking like, I did the right thing. I did my part telling him, you know, there's a further step you could take. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, he's literally trying to cheat on his wife.
Yeah, but she then would have a track record of being like, I spoke to my brother. Like if she has no knowledge that he actually cheated.
That's tough. I honestly, like, I know there's more you could do, but I think that's as far as I would go too. If I'm being honest, I wouldn't press it anymore than telling my brother.
I also don't think it will mess up your family dynamic if your brother's messing.
Well, yeah, if you just talk to him, I'm sure it would fuck up your family dynamic if you told him and then you bypassed him and went to his wife.
Yeah. No. I think your brother's doing a pretty good job at messing up the family dynamic all on his own.
Yeah.
Talk to your brother.
Yeah.
Because also, real quick, there might be something that you don't know. Maybe they already are separated. Who knows? And like he's reaching out. You don't know. So you're just going to talk to your brother to get the answer. Maybe your best
friend's only telling you
That's what I mean.
little bit of it.
You're only getting one side.
Maybe she is hooking up with him, and then maybe they took it too far and she felt guilty, and now she's telling you something else.
We don't need to assume anything.
I'm just saying, there's plenty of angles.
There's plenty of ways.
Next question.
To go about this. Talk to your brother. Next question. My wife and I have been married for almost a year now, but have been living together for almost 10 years. I recently asked for a divorce because I don't think she's the one anymore and have fallen out of love. I understand I shouldn't have married her, but I thought our relationship would change for the better after marriage, but it didn't. I decided to end before we had kids so they wouldn't suffer in the case of a divorce. I supported her and the house financially 100%. Now she wants half of everything, even though she never contributed a dollar towards anything, and the house is solely in my name. Mind you, she's only 30 years old and has a full-time job. I offered to pay for her rent for 2 years and pay for her school until she graduates. She still wants half of everything plus alimony. Who's being unreasonable?
Is alimony for... No, that's not childcare.
Alimony is what you pay someone
Like
for an extended
your
amount of time.
quality of life that you had prior.
To like keep up with the quality of life.
Did you have a prenup? Like, if you didn't have a prenup, then yeah, she gets half of everything. Like, do people pretend like they don't know what's involved when they get married? Do you just think like, take a fucking, is there a marriage course to tell you what's going on?
Well,
like,
I mean, there's like marriage lawyers all the time on TikTok.
like, don't play fucking dumb.
I mean, of course.
You
like,
do a prenup or you don't do a prenup. If you didn't do a prenup, then she gets fucking half. That is what marriage is. Don't go into a fucking marriage and a la carte this shit unless you do a fucking prenup. And so you're like, oh, well, I pay for everything. Like, too fucking bad. You didn't do the prenup. Also, like him saying, I didn't have kids because I didn't want to put him through it. Like, you already preemptively were like, this might not work. I don't want to have kids. It just seems like you already kind of...
Okay, I want to break this down because the first
I don't want to.
red flag is that, not necessarily a red flag, but you were together for 10 years, married for 1. You got married because you thought your relationship would change after marriage. PSA to anyone fucking listening, having a baby, getting married will not change your relationship. It will, if anything, bring out the true colors and make it fucking worse. So do not think that someone will change because you put a ring on it, you signed some papers, or you procreated. Now things just got messier.
Don't you think those things are adding... You think they'd make it better, but if you actually look at those things, those are like stressful factors, right? Because you're still going through something. So it's like... It's not making something easier.
No, but people like glorify weddings. They glorify babies. And they're like, oh my God, so cute. Oh, so beautiful. This is going to be great. But like, don't realize that there's a whole laundry list of responsibilities that come with these commitments.
Just like getting a fucking dog.
Case in point. Okay, so anyway,
just like getting a dog before you get fucking married.
I think, yeah, you're allowed to feel some type of way because of course it could feel frustrating, but also we're only getting your side of the story. Like, how do we know what the plan was? Like, she's in school, maybe she would have been working and contributing. Like, whatever your agreement was your agreement. And so maybe she wasn't contributing because you had the agreement that she was going to go to school and eventually financially, whatever. Just if you don't want to pay this, get a good lawyer. Divorce is expensive. Marriage is a bitch, but you shouldn't do it if I mean, no one gets married thinking that you're going to get divorced, but what?
It's just like, do some of these people are like, just go into it blind, like, let's get married. I don't know what that fucking, what's involved with getting married, but let's just fucking do it and just roll the dice. I just feel like people don't educate themselves on these stages in life that you think are just all fucking roses and butterflies.
Well, now this is a lesson though for maybe
that's a hard lesson.
Him for the next marriage is to get a prenup. Yeah, whatever. We wrap that up. I mean, I'm sorry that you're getting a divorce, but regardless of what's fair, I think this is just what it is.
I'm not trying to like be harsh. I sound very harsh on this guy, but it just annoys me that like people don't take the time to like think things through on life of events or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I think marriage is just like, or divorce in itself is painful. And of course, like when you feel like your partner has contributed nothing, but that's also your side. Like, did she help her? Like, I'm sure that there's things that she brought to the marriage that you would have paid someone to do.
No, mine's more the surprise part, that he's surprised what's going on. The amount of TV shows and movies.
Shows, that's where you're learning your marriage.
Shows, movies, like everything's like divorce or getting to get whatever. Like, you know about it. It's not a surprise. And that's why that question bothers me, because she's like, she wants half of everything. Like, no shit.
Like Jeff Bezos gave half.
Who the fuck is that?
John.
I'm kidding.
We know. I don't.
Yeah, he's the guy with the island.
You're fucking with me, right?
Yeah, I am.
Who is it? I think you could leave it.
Is that the guy from Amazon? Jeff Bezos at Amazon?
Yeah. Wow, you got there. Next question. Hi, John.
Hi.
Hi, John and Alex. I would appreciate your perspectives on a family dynamic. I, 32 female, am the youngest of 3 children. My whole life, I have had the perspective that my oldest sister, 38 female, has main character syndrome and strictly recognizes everyone else as secondary characters to her life. Whatever she has going on trumps what I have going on. This isn't something that I pout about. However, the current situation has me in a compromised position. My sister's life is falling apart while mine is falling together. The sadness that is her life makes me crave distance from her. It's too much and it takes away from celebrating my life. My parents think I should be more supportive of my sister and what she is going through. I don't want to continue being a secondary character in my own family. Give it to me straight. What's your perspective?
I feel like that's a very common, well, maybe not adult, or not like older sibling, but just like the dynamic of siblings in general.
I think everyone has this expectation of being besties with their siblings.
Right.
And when you have an expectation of what a relationship should look like, that's when you're going to be disappointed. Because when it doesn't hold up to that or it falls short, you know, like I think having a relationship with your partner is different than the expectation that you have of like family members.
Right.
You know,
you get older. I mean, you grow up together, you're like 18 or whatever, you move
Right.
on, everyone changes and becomes a new person or whatever. I just think the parent part is the most triggering of that question. The parents being like, you need to be more supportive. Because I'd be like, oh, I need to be more supportive my whole life. I'm sure you've been praising what's her name, and I'm just sitting here like, whatever. You know, that would just bother me a little bit. Like, what about where I'm at in my life? Are you gonna tell me how great I'm doing? That's me being toxic. It's toxic to be like that.
I mean, again, I just think that your sister's life is out of your control. Like you have to protect your own peace. And this is also a season. I think it's also difficult, like when it's easy to like compare your siblings and be like, who gets more attention? Who's like the main character? Like be the main character of your own life. Like don't let your sister, like that's your perspective. But like, I don't know, maybe your sister like doesn't go out of her way to care about what you have going on. But like, then just focus on yourself, you know? And I think that that's the best that you could do in this situation is focus on you. Just focus on yourself.
So that's the better route to take.
Yeah, because I think relationships with families ebb and flow.
Right.
Like you might not feel this close with your sister right now.
I get why she wants to be distant though, because she's like, I'm doing so
that's my
well.
point, is-
She's not, but I don't want to feel like I'm rubbing it in her face.
But if you guys aren't that close already, like don't just continue.
True. You don't have to force a relationship. Like you said, you don't have to be best friends. You can see each other whenever, like family events.
I do not subscribe to the notion like of like what your parents are saying, where it's your sister, it's blood. I don't give a fuck. I don't get to choose who my shit siblings are. I get to choose the people around me. And I'm choosing to set a boundary. So no, like.
I get it.
My perspective is continue to be the best version of yourself.
Focus
Love
on you.
yourself. And with that, you could overflow your goodness and your kindness into other people. If your sister comes to you asking for help, like you just have to protect your peace. Like,
so take the high road.
yeah.
Yeah.
But just be the bigger person, you know, and just know
As
that
shitty and as tough as that is.
I think that you could be supportive from afar. I don't think that you have to indulge yourself in any like toxicity that she's going through.
Well, yeah, you need to be aware of your mental health too, and like what's important to you, and if it brings you sadness or makes you upset, like I get, you know, it's family and whatnot, but you don't have to make it a priority, you know?
I mean, you don't have to kick your sister while she's down, but like, what kind of support are they looking for?
Right.
I don't know. I just think that like
That's
people like to
annoying.
use blood as an excuse to accept toxic behavior into their lives. And it's like, no, we're not going to do that.
Well said. I like that.
Next question. I've been with my husband for 10 years, married for 8. He has an older brother in another state and a younger sister with developmental disabilities. She, the sister, lives at home with her parents who are now in their 70s. I've brought up to my husband multiple times about what's the plan with her when his parents eventually pass. For context, she is in her late 30s, but emotionally and functionally 13. She can't drive or read and doesn't work. She stays at home with her parents who care for her full time. The medications she takes are very expensive, and when she's dysregulated, she's very hard to deal with. We live 15 minutes from them, and I'm already envisioning having to be responsible when the time comes. While I'll do whatever it takes to care for her, I'm concerned there is no plan for her since the plan has never been mentioned or talked about. Give it to me straight. Will I need to carry this conversation with my in-laws, or do you think it will eventually be talked about?
Did it say her diagnosis?
It just says developmental disabilities, so no.
I was a vocational counselor, and this was back before I did OT and whatnot. And basically we'd have clients, wide range of diagnoses from like schizophrenia to autism to like bipolar. And what would happen is we would find them jobs. So we'd find them jobs, work with them till they can do it on their own. But it was great because it gave them something to do during the day. Some came from their parents' homes. Others came from like halfway homes, whatnot. And look, your mental health needs to be priority. That said, like being there for a family member, you if you have to do that, there's so many programs that can help you out there to lighten the load for you. I've seen some horrible halfway homes. I've seen some, I don't even know if they're actually called that or not, some, but other places that are actually like good places for them to be with people, like-minded people, and they enjoy themselves. So that, finding them like a job and all that, there's a lot to do. Just don't think like you're alone on that. If there's not a plan right now, maybe it's time to talk to the parents about it and try to implement some of these. So it's not like all of a sudden.
Well, I would bring it up with your husband first and ask him what his thoughts
True.
are. Because again, like for you to just go to his parents, I don't think that like you have to be the one to direct that conversation or to have that conversation. I think eventually you all would sit down and have a conversation about what the plan is. But I think you having a conversation with your husband, communicating what your expectations are, what his expectations are, and then bringing it to his parents, because it's something that will have to be addressed eventually. And the worst case scenario is you don't have that conversation, something happens, and then you guys do have this responsibility, which again, you'll make it work, you'll figure it out. But I think to have a plan is best case scenario. So talk to your husband, and then you can facilitate that conversation with his parents.
And just educate yourself for what's out there, which will help alleviate any like stress or anxiety that you have, that like you're not alone out there, and there's plenty of programs to help you.
And options, yeah. Next question. I met this absolutely amazing girl. There's no way around it. She was everything I've dreamt of. Beautiful, kind, funny, intelligent, educated, athletic, down to earth, and just super chill. We both work in different apartments at a tech startup, so I know she's driven and independent. She was really clear when we started dating that she doesn't move quickly into relationships and that she likes to get to really know people before she sleeps with them, and I was cool with that. We were friends at first, but about 8 or 9 weeks into us dating consistently, she invited me to have lunch where she told me that she really felt we had a connection and she felt like she was ready to move to the different level of intimacy. But she wanted me to be aware that she was a carrier of the HSV2 virus, which is herpes. Up to that point, we had only really kissed. So it's not like she exposed me at any point, but at that moment, I don't know what came over me. I got so angry. I'm not usually a guy that disrespects women or raises my voice, but I yelled at her and told her she wasted my time and was completely manipulative. She responded that she wasn't, because this isn't something she discloses to just anyone, and she only tells people she could see as long-term partners. Now it's been 4 months, and I've had a lot of time to think about it, and I've done some of my own research. About a week ago, I contacted her so we could meet up and I could apologize. I realized that I really do care about her, and I honestly can't stop thinking about her. She accepted my apology and told me she will never trust me again, and that the way that I responded was, in her words, cruel and harsh. I agree with that, but I just wasn't equipped for that information or how to respond to it. I also made the mistake of telling a friend/coworker who I went to for advice when I was frustrated about the situation, and that got back to her. She hasn't responded to my text or calls since we met up. I guess the advice I need is for how to get her back. I feel like I messed this up, and I know some people might think I'm crazy for wanting to be with someone with that situation, but it's really not that serious to me now that I know so much more about it. I'm ready to settle down, and I feel like she could be the one. Do you think there's any chance?
First off, I just like feel so bad. I feel bad for both of them. I just feel so bad for her though. I mean, that had to be so fucking hard for her to like build up the courage just to say that. Because in her head, the minute she probably found out, she's like, that's it for me. That's it. What am I going to do?
And like like when she felt like she had a connection with you, she trusted you with that information and you fucking betrayed her. Like you
I wouldn't go as far as betrayed her. Like,
I don't know. I would.
Listen, he's admitting he fucked up. Like, he should not have reacted the way he did. But man, that's like a big bond to be dropped on someone. What if you've never been in that situation before? Like, you think you're just going to lunch to have lunch and then that happens? I'm not saying like what he did was wrong, but like,
you mean right?
Right. Sorry, what he did was right, but like I kind of understand like him like reacting the way he did.
I understand feeling like blindsided because like, if you feel like you're not equipped, but also like as a single person dating, this is something that you can run across like with anyone, because again, like you don't know. And the fact that she felt like she could tell you, which is fine. Like, I think that honestly, your reaction could have been warranted or forgiven because you just didn't know how to react,
and
whatever.
I'm assuming he didn't say anything malicious to his partner, his friend, though. I think he was probably getting information from them.
I don't give a shit. You could go to someone who's not a mutual. This is someone who you both know from work.
They work together.
Yes.
They work together. And so he knows that. Okay, that's fucked up. I honestly thought this was just like his friend, his confidant. Like, I would probably talk to my best friend about that. But if this is a mutual,
let me make sure. I also made the mistake of telling a friend / coworker who I went to for advice when I was frustrated about the situation, and that got back to her. So it got back to her because they all work in the same startup.
Well,
so
that's then he's stupid for that.
me. I think it could have been salvaged, but I don't know. That might be the nail in the coffin. The only way you will know is if you talk to her, but you cannot, similar to last week's episode, you can't make excuses for your behavior. If you apologize, you can't follow it up with a but. There's no reason.
True. What's done is done.
Again, I think that if you didn't share this information with someone else, I think that it would have been an easier conversation to have. This isn't to say that like it's over. There's no hope for you and her to work out. I just think it's going to be a little bit harder for her to trust you because you did go and share this information.
Think about like how vulnerable she was.
Right.
Oh, I really feel bad for her. That sucks. For like opening up to someone and they just like ripped into you like that. I can get over him reacting the way he did because honestly, I don't know how I would react if I was just thrown off. I don't know. But him telling a coworker he's dumb for doing that. That's not right, and that's inconsiderate of her.
I think the ball is in her court if she wants to move forward with a relationship with you, to forgive you, I don't know. It's a shitty situation, but I don't think it's completely unforgivable. It just depends.
I hate that you end the podcast with like the saddest questions. Couldn't have been like one about the guy.
You could blame your producer.
We couldn't pick one where like the guy's trying to find the grandmother's ashes or something. That was a epic question.
I could make one up if you want.
Sad. I feel bad for her.
Dear John and Alex.
Anyways,
my husband John doesn't give me the D as much as I.
All right. That is it for questions. Moving into Icks. My Ick. I have 2 for you.
Great.
I bet you don't even remember this one. We woke up 5 a.m. last week, really start our day early. We go to the gym. Oh, no, we didn't. We went to go get gas for the car. On the way back, we're on this windy road. I'm trying to like navigate traffic. Alex has the audacity to tell me she hates the music and for me to change it while she is just sitting there on her cell phone. I'm double-handing the wheel, just trying to like make sure we stay on the road. And she's wanting me to like find a song and change the song on Spotify when you could have just picked the phone up. Like, you want me to wreck the car.
I'm sure I was not just scrolling. I'm sure I was answering an email
No, you weren't.
or doing some directions for both of us. Like
You're looking at like dog videos.
I don't remember. So like for you to say this, like you're just lying.
What?
You're just making this up.
I'm not.
Yeah, you are. And honestly, John, like it was a trash song. It was something depressing and sad. Like I want happy music. And this was like, I cut my life into pieces.
How dare
This
you?
is my last resort. Suffocation.
Get no breathing. Don't give a fuck if I cut
my
myself
arm.
sleeping.
Bleeding.
That's not what it was. I don't know what the words are.
Wow, we're going to get copyright because that was so good.
It was awesome. Okay, what's yours?
What's your next ick?
No, I'll
No.
do yours, then go back to mine.
My ick is just that, like, when we have arguments, it's like the dumbest shit sometimes, but it just like goes
Too long.
and goes too long. And it's like, what are we even fighting about? And then like when we try to like, we take a breather, we come back.
And we fight again.
We fight again.
The breather was
But
for no
then
point.
Every time we come back to try to like talk about it, we always like, we can't take each other seriously. Like we're always like, you suck.
And we start
Laughing.
fighting. That's no one else in the world does that. There's no fucking way.
John, we're not unique.
We are.
Like,
There's no
other
way.
People, I'm sure,
we're
argue like that.
seriously mad at each other and we start laughing. That does not happen.
Because I'm like, what? Like, do you hear yourself?
Do you hear
crazy.
yourself?
You're crazy.
I think what it is like you're so harped on like your opinion on the matter, and so am I, and we're
it's
not
facts. John.
Okay.
We guys, this is what we fought about. We fought about taxes for like 2 hours the other day, and I'm like, John, it's simple math. And you're like,
California's
no,
killing us.
They're taking all of our money, and I'm like, it's math, John. Math is because our friends live in a no income state tax whatever.
Nevada.
Yeah, but Florida, there's other states that they don't charge income tax. And so John's like, we need to move. And I'm like, okay, no, number one. But number two, like,
Yeah, tell me all the knowledge you have on the
federal is
there's no way we're having this conversation right now. I will lay into you.
I know, I will lay on top of you. it's just math, John. Math is hard for you, but it's okay.
Oh my God.
Anyway, so that's what's annoying. It's just like, oh my God, we're fighting about something that is just like, it's stupid. It's
We
numbers.
fought for like an hour and we went back and forth 3 different times to just keep
I
arguing.
almost got to the point where I was going to speed order a dry erase board just to do a presentation for you to prove my point.
That's you. That's why like I like to give you hard times so it really motivates you to do more, you know?
Yeah, that's what I need to be
I'm
motivated in anger.
Alex, you need to do a short film. You're being lazy.
No, I
And
think
then
that
you did it.
Oh, that's really
You're
what
welcome.
got me through it. When I win my Oscar, I'm going to say I was so lazy, and then John and I got in a fight. Thanks, John.
You want to know my other ick?
Not really.
I'm going to tell you. There's a couple times where I feel like I'm going to have a heart attack. And it's when Alex does sudden movements or like, you know, we're in the car driving and, you know, like the passenger seat, she's like, and just like.
I'm not that type of a passenger. I don't do that in the car.
Not normally, but sometimes you do. And it's like.
Well, it's never like about
somebody
driving.
That's 4 car lengths
No,
away.
it's never that. Or I'll like think of something. I'll be like,
Oh, yes.
that's a good idea.
I know. I hate that.
I can't help it.
I am sleeping the other night. I am asleep. Alex goes, oh, and slaps me in the chest. And I go, oh my God, what? She goes, that sound we heard earlier, it was the mouse moving the trap. It's like 2:00 in the morning. I'm like, what the fuck? Where is this coming from? You're going to kill me.
I didn't know that. Like, I woke up thinking about it. And so like.
No, we were both awake when we heard the trap.
No, we were awake and I was like, what's that? But then I went to sleep and then I had a dream about it. And then I was like, oh, that's what it was. It was the mouse.
Just so you know,
This
it
mouse-
wasn't a light
John,
like
your
hand
ick-
motion. You literally bitch slapped me in the chest.
Your ick isn't with me. It's with the mouse.
My ick is stop with the sudden movements. Chill out.
I can't help it that like when things come to mind, it's just a knee-jerk reaction. Like I don't choose to have the reaction that I do.
You're kind of extra.
Oh, I'm extra. Me.
All right, I'm going to read a review.
Wait, read. There was one the other day. Did you
Oh,
screenshot
you know what?
it?
I took a screenshot.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, they're all good, guys.
They're all good, but this one was
So,
really
thanks.
nice. Hashtag couple goals. 5 stars. Meg1206.
Wow.
All right.
Are you out of breath?
I would give more stars if I could. Alex, your laugh is contagious and your wit is incomparable.
Oh, thanks.
I wish I had you as a friend. LOL.
We can be friends.
Are you gonna let me read this?
Yeah.
Are you gonna just like
You literally interrupt my questions all the time.
John, I love how unapologetically honest and real you are. Together, you guys make the perfect pair. I find myself absolutely addicted and lost in your podcast. Thank you for being real, raw, and showing the true nature of a healthy relationship. I love your banter back and forth. It reminds me of me and my husband. Thank you for not putting on this perfect relationship facade that we see with so many influencer couples. You guys are the true definition of hashtag couple goals. You give amazing advice, you don't sugarcoat, and you are hilarious while doing it. Good luck with your short film. I can't wait to see Alex win her Oscar one day. Before John, if you know, you know. LOL.
Thank you.
Thank you, Meg.
And it's true. We all fight about taxes or something, you know? If it's not taxes, it's your mom.
Your mom?
Remember when your mom jokes were a thing?
I'm telling my mom you
Not
said that.
your mom. Like, I could be saying my mom.
Anyways, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Like, subscribe, email, comment.
You can reach us at hello@giveittomestraightpodcast.com. And we are everywhere on the interwebs at Give It To Me Straight Podcast. And we will see you next week.
Ciao, ciao. Bye.